Tonight on Mr. Media, I'll talk to Hunter Briley and Erik Lundquist, two members of the hard-rocking Nashville rock band November. Stick around. So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. It's like I forget sometimes, you know? This is Bob Andelman, and this is the Mr. Media interview. You know, MrMedia.com, MRmedia.com. Stop by and check it out. There are more than 600 archived celebrity interviews for your listening pleasure. The show is brought to you today by thepartyauthority.us. Planning a wedding, mitzvah, or corporate event? For any and all occasions, call the Party Authority nationwide at 1-800-DIAL-DJs. That's 1-800-342-5357, where one call does it all. Now, Mr. Media is recorded live before a studio audience of tone-deaf dead ichthyologists. I swear to you, there was once a local band here by that name. And it's all coming to you from the new media capital of the world and home of the second best team in baseball, St. Petersburg, Florida. Well, locating a hard-rocking band in the middle of country music-loving Nashville, Tennessee was either really dumb or really smart. I guess I'm going to go with really smart, because if you're good at being different, you can really stand out in a scene where everyone else sounds similar. And make no doubt about it, the six-piece band November doesn't sound anything like the music they play at the Grand Ol Opry. But don't take my word for it. Give a listen to Jamie by November.
Jamie, it all started on a Saturday. I should have known that the devil'd have her hair and makeup done. Jamie invited me in a cave to play. You never know how fast you are until you have to run. What did I do so wrong? What did I do so wrong? What did I do so wrong? Jamie, you're lonely right now. What did I do so wrong? What did I do so wrong? What did I do so wrong? Jamie will break me somehow. Jamie, I know you got a little part to play, but now all the drugs are gone and the sun is coming now. Oh, Jamie, I'm feeling like I'm gonna suffocate, 'cause now all the karma you've collected's catching up. What did I do so wrong? What did I do so wrong? What did I do so wrong? Jamie, you're lonely right now. What did I do so wrong? What did I do so wrong? What did I do so wrong? Jamie, you'll break me somehow. Jamie, I just wrote a little note to say.
I tell you, I was just listening to that. My head is bouncing back and forth. I really like these guys, and I was going back and forth with our engineer Rudy up in New York, and I said, "Is it wrong to enjoy doing this so much? This is so much fun to, be introduced to new bands and stuff." Anyway, November, and somebody remind me to ask them about that name, is made up of Hunter Briley on vocals, drummer Michael Dale, guitarist Erik Lundquist and Albert Zampino, Jeremy Brashears on bass, and Jon Denney on keyboards. And representing the group today are Hunter and Erik. Guys, welcome to Mr. Media.
Hi. Hey. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having us on the show.
Oh, my pleasure. I wasn't kidding. I mean, I really like the sound. I like the music I've heard, and when that's the case, it's very easy to have guys on the show.
Well, thank you so much, man. It's definitely a process and something that we work very hard on. But to hear that from somebody, an outsider, that means a lot. Thank you so much.
A completely strange stranger. I know what you're saying. I get it. Hey, listen, I don't know whether to ask first about being a rock band in Nashville, of all places, or the name November. So you're the guest. You pick which we should talk about first.
Let's start with the name.
You want to start with
Okay.
the name?
Yeah, want to do that?
Sure.
Okay, so honestly, the name itself just came from it looked good on a T-shirt, to be honest with you. But we were having rehearsal over at Eric's house one night. This was about 6 years ago, obviously, but and Michael, our drummer, got something all over his T-shirt that he was wearing at the time, and asked Eric for a clean T-shirt to wear for the remainder of the evening. And it said November across the chest of it. And Jeremy, the bass player, he looked at Eric and said, "Is that a band, or what's with the November there on the chest of the T-shirt?" And he said, "Man, it's an old defunct skateboarding company." And we all kind of looked at him and said, "Not anymore." So that's where the actual name November came from. But if anybody asks, it's because our favorite people's birthdays are in November.
I see. Or I guess it's a good thing that nobody poured hot coffee on someone's pants and they had to borrow underwear and found out that it said Friday.
We'd be called the Calvin Kleins.
Yeah, we'd have never.
You hope. You might be called the Target Specials. Yeah.
What is that? 4 in a pack special for $12.99? That's hello, we're $12.99. That's what we're called.
Well, all right. So we've covered the name of the band, and that's a good story. I buy that. Now,
Right.
what about being a rock band in Nashville? That's it's there's, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but you're not expecting to find a lot of rock, not this kind of rock in Nashville. I don't think.
Yeah, that's true. You're very right. Well, and that's the myth that we're trying to help dispel as well. And everybody, Nashville is known. A lot of people call it country music USA, and that's just unfortunately that's not correct. It's Music City USA. Now, country has done absolute wonders and amazing things for our lovely city, but there's more rock and roll going on in this city right now than I think really even country. And I know that's a pretty broad statement, but there's jazz, there's metal,
There's everything going on.
It really is Music City USA. So there's always the theory of the big fish in a smaller pond. That smaller pond being the rock and roll world in Nashville. But honestly, it's really, really building up, and there's so many examples. I mean, Paramore is a rock band they claim Franklin, which is just south of Nashville. And then there's obviously Framing Hanley, that's right, and Kings of Leon, the big boys. They're from Nashville too. So there's a lot going on, with the music scene, and rock and roll is really, really standing up and taking a good stand in Nashville.
Is it easier to get attention as a rock band in Nashville than as another country band?
No, it is. It
not
is.
necessarily.
It's never
Really?
easy to get attention in rock and roll. Period. Where no matter what city you're in, it's a whole lot of things. A lot of ingredients mixed into one thing to get it all to happen. There's a lot of luck. There's a lot of knowing the right people. Of course, the music has to be there, and the lyrics, and the look, and the everything factors into it. But it's definitely the right place at the right time, and knowing the right people, and just being out there for your fans, and really putting on a good live show, and people coming back. And that seems to be at least our MO. We're graciously blessed with best live rock performance at the Nashville Independent Music Association and Artist of the Year. So we're very proud of those two awards, and obviously the Artist of the Year, but the best live rock performance is huge for us, because we put a lot into our live show. We feel like that, if you're going to put it on the record, you better be able to pull it off live, and we do. We try to do that to the best of our ability.
I think our audience that's getting to see this show as video, as opposed to our radio audience, can appreciate that from the first video, and we'll have another song coming up from November after our first break. How many of you guys are Nashvillians, and how many are not?
We're all kind of spread out. What,
Yeah, I'm from Nashville. Eric's from upstate New York, and Michael and Jeremy are from Ashland City, which is just a suburb of Nashville. So they're Nashvillians. Albert's from Louisville, Kentucky, and Jon Denney's from Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh,
so John actually came up with in the Trent Reznor area and played in a couple bands with him as they were growing up, and Trent obviously went on to do Nine Inch Nails and things like that. But that's the area and the genre of music that John came from. And you can hear a lot of that, on the new record. You'll hear a lot of the synth and the keyboards and all that kind of stuff, just kind of thickening the sound up. But yeah, we're kind of from all over the place.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break. Rudy in the studio says if we do that now, we'll have time to get in the other song. So this is Bob Andelman, and you're listening to the Mr. Media interview with Hunter Briley and Erik Lundquist of the Nashville rock band November. And we'll be right back.
Hey, did you know that you can listen to the latest Mr. Media on your phone with the Stitcher app? Stitcher is smart radio for your smartphone. Mr. Media is on demand and on the go with Stitcher. Download Stitcher for your phone today. Get the free download at Stitcher.com. That's STITCHER.com.
Look at all the cars. Lots of colored cars. Ah, there's a blue one. Isn't it pretty? Whew, look how fast that red one's going. It's red like that stop sign. Like my jacket.
This is a 38-year-old man.
My jacket's not a car, is it? Is my jacket a car? My jacket is red, but it doesn't go fast.
He may sound a little strange to you and me.
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
But to his 2-year-old son who's interested in cars and colors, he makes perfect sense.
That's the sound cars make.
When you talk with your child, you build vocabulary, and learning starts long before school does. So follow their lead. Take simple everyday moments like eating dinner or just watching cars go by and turn them into learning moments.
Ooh, look, red car.
Yes! And it's moving awfully fast.
Blue car.
Yes! The man in the red car's about to meet the man in the blue car. Get himself a pretty pink ticket.
Turn everyday moments into learning moments. For more tips, go to bornlearning.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad.
What?
I can't get the ketchup bottle open.
Here, let me try. Yeah, it's stuck all right.
Anything?
Now watch. If you take your palm like this and smack it on the bottom right here, you can get it open pretty easily. Here you go.
Thanks.
You don't have to be a hero to be a hero. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference. To find out how you can adopt, please visit our website at adoptuskids.org or call 1-888-200-4005. A public service announcement brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
What's all the buzz on chataboutit.com. On the Tax Trouble Help Show, Lynn Ford and Mike Porter can help solve your tax problems. And maybe you'll even laugh a little at some of their humor on taxes and life.
The IRS dollar menu, we'll have to let you think about what might be offered on that dollar menu.
We got a better menu than that. We got a free menu. Hey, we got a free menu.
The Tax Trouble Help Show, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. on your computer at chataboutit.com.
This is Bob Andelman, and you're listening to the Mr. Media interview with Hunter Briley and Erik Lundquist of the Nashville rock band November. And before we bring Hunter and Erik back on, let's listen to another tune from November. This is The Grind.
I'll tell you all about it. 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 Well, hello. Switching teams, here's a hard rock cafe, cocaine queen. We're running out of stone right before the show, so let's get some more. In the front of the bar, in the back of the car, in the bathroom stall, you're a superstar. Everybody's gonna want a little piece, so get used to it. So get used to it.
Man, is this a great job or what?
Yeah.
So, hey guys. So my engineer at the studio in New York, Rudy, has a band, the Livars, and I had all kinds of very professional questions to ask you, but he wants to know, one band guy to another, who in the band gets the most tail?
No comments.
Oh! Well, I'll tell you what he said. He said in his band, it's him.
Yeah, right? It's got to be a contest between Albert, our guitar player, and me. Absolutely. And I'll start keeping numbers, actually. Give me his email address. I'll start emailing our numbers as they go.
He says nice and thank you. Yeah, I think he's up for that. Is there a clear division of labor among the members of the band? I mean, for example, is one guy better with writing music and another with the business side? Is one guy a better wingman than other guys?
Yeah, we kind of, Michael is the drummer and he's the primary writer. It's a great story. Michael doesn't know how to play guitar, but he took my guitar, my acoustic guitar, and he's left-handed, so he turns it upside down. And he writes absolutely everything that you've heard, even the song right there, The Grind. He writes all of that on the E string with one finger upside down, and he just and he doesn't know how to play. He plays, he finds the notes. He's even written his own chart, if you will, for, the fretboards on a guitar. He doesn't go by normal fret numbers or anything. He's written his own. It's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
But, and then he brings that basic, canvas to us and gives it to Eric and Jeremy and Albert and John, and they start really just painting everything over that, and then he has the melody line that he's pretty much wanting me to sing, and then I'll add my version of that to the melody, and and then we all just kind of lock it all in and change it all down, and we always kind of joke that there's not a song's not done until it's recorded. So
Right.
It's as far as the writing, that's the writing process. Everything else in the band, we're all PR agents for the band. We all do publicity work. We have a publicist out of New York, but just on every day-to-day stuff, we all are doing all kinds of stuff. I hosted 3 hours on 102.9 The Buzz. It's the rock station here in town on Saturday. I hosted 3 hours of that to help promote our big show tomorrow, and then also, of course, always promote November. But we're always out there doing all kinds of stuff. Eric designs a lot of did some poster work and the stickers and things like that, and we all kind of have little jobs that kind of add up to a lot, in the end.
And who's the best wingman?
That's got to be Eric. You're looking at him right there. Best wingman. www.wingman.com. Do we have to buy that now?
We do.
Okay. Look up wingman in the dictionary. You'll see Eric's picture. Is that what you're saying?
There it is, right there.
Well, let me ask you this. What is the dumbest or craziest thing that's ever happened to you guys, either on stage or as a band off?
Oh, God. Get the list out. Okay, here's a good one. We were in New York, and we had to be back in Nashville at a certain time. You know what I'm going to talk about. We had to be back in Nashville at a certain time, okay? So we left New York City, 2 in the morning, and Jeremy is usually the driver. He's the pilot because he's scared to death he's going to die, and if he's going to die, it's going to be by his hands. Anyways, Jeremy was too tired to drive that night, and Albert decided that he was going to drive. Well, Albert has his own kind of unique sense of direction, which is what we like to call the wrong direction. But he decided to, and normally when we're coming back from New York, we go a certain route. It's the quickest way. You end up in Knoxville, Tennessee, and then straight over to Nashville. Well, we all woke up, around 6 or 7 in the morning, and we're passing, the White House and, Washington, D.C. I'm serious. And we look up, and I think one of me or somebody else was the first to really wake up and go, what are you doing? You know, and he's like, I wanted to see the nation's capital, and then we're going to see Baltimore here soon to see where the Ravens play and all that. Hours. And we had like 6 hours out of the way before we had to get home. And then since he took us so far out of the way, we by the time we finally got over being that far out of the way, we were like, okay, let's stop and get some food. And we stopped and went into Shoney's. And dude, I'm not lying. This is the truth. We went into Shoney's and they sat us down, a rock band with tattoos and hair and the whole thing going, in the middle of an NA meeting, a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. I'm not kidding. This is the truth. So we're 6 hours out of the way in the middle of, nowhere at an NA meeting at a Shoney's restaurant, trying to figure out where the heck we are. And ended up being about, 8 hours past our deadline to get home. So that's a pretty interesting story for you.
That's a great story. For most people, that would be like 3 stories combined into one, but only in the life of a band
exactly.
can that be one day's story. Wow. Well, I got one more question, and you answered that so well, I have to ask you this one. Okay. You guys have been together, about 6 years, I think you said?
Yeah.
So in all that time and traveling together, is there anything that you've learned about each other, and this could be the two of you or the band as a whole, that you really wish had remained a secret?
I guess being stuffed in a van for several hours at a time, you learn a lot of stuff about people.
Yeah, you pretty much, all rules are off.
You don't need to.
Yeah. You really get to know the whole band of brothers phrasing really takes on a whole new life. But it's cool, honestly, is we all do know each other front and back. We're best friends. If we were all about a foot and a half taller and had a little more skill, we'd be a basketball team. But it just turns out that, we play music. So, the point of that is, we're best friends, and it's fun being out on the road. And I think, we've gotten a whole lot of the BS, if you will, behind us as a band. So I think, and not to say that we don't have our problems or stuff doesn't come out or anything, but we're to a point where we can address it and move on, and just get back to having fun, which is what we do 99.9% of the time. So
right. And folks, remember this lesson at home: what happens in the van stays in the van.
Stays in the van until you can't take it anymore, and then you got to roll down the windows.
Right. I know where that's going. Listen, folks, you can see Hunter Briley, Erik Lundquist, and the rest of the band this Friday, September 10th, when they headline the local stage at BuzzFest in Nashville. And for more concert dates or to purchase their album, Sugar Free, from which some of these songs came, check out their website, novembernow.com, or look for them on MySpace. And Hunter Briley and Erik Lundquist, a lot of fun having you here. Thanks so much for joining us on Mr. Media tonight.
Thanks so much, man. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
All right, guys, take it easy. And folks, for more original interviews with your favorite up-and-coming and classic bands, you can surf over to our main website, mrmedia.com. Subscribe to Mr. Media on iTunes, and you'll never miss a show. Just search Mr. Media Interviews from within iTunes and subscribe for free. And once you do, give us a rating, too. And if you've got an idea for a guest, email me directly at bob@mrmedia.com. You can also follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, twitter.com/Andelman. Hey, thanks so much for listening tonight. I really appreciate you sharing a bit of your day with Mr. Media. Bye, everybody. Thanks a lot.